Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemi Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and do rule well. Salutation to the men of the hopeful and sensei elect. There's a brother, Marcus out in Trinidad. Just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. And this lesson would be, a dream that I got last night. Alright. And in this dream, well, I can't remember the whole dream because I got it like probably around 1, because when I woke up it was a little after 1 heading to 2 o'clock. And for some, I literally woke out of the dream and just could only remember the end. But in the dream, it was me and another brother. I can't remember who the brother was, but it was me and another brother, and there was a king. But basically, we were going to get the kingdom from this king. So he was giving the kingdom to us. But the thing is now that we couldn't just go and just take the kingdom. We had to go through some serious hardship. So I remember in the beginning of the dream, he said excessive cuts and bruises. And basically everything that we had to go through was like trials. And, while going through those trials, like we would get cuts and bruises. As I said, I can't remember the entire dream. So I will just jump to the ending of the dream. Jumping to the end of the dream now. I remember it's like I was in my body and out of my body at the same time. So I remember at the end of the dream, seeing me and the brother, and we were lying on the ground. And the king looked at us and smiled. And like he was pleased because we completed everything. But we were lying on the ground, like totally out of it. But we were on the ground lying down, and he looked at us and smiled. And he said excessive cuts and bruises. And he took us up, and when he took us up, we literally came back new. We were clean, no cuts, no bruises, nothing like that. But literally, we were unrecognizable. We were unrecognizable with all the cuts and bruises. Literally, like if somebody sliced you up, chopped you up, and after all those chops and stabs all over your body, they took you and threw you out of a car going 200 miles per hour down the highway. So like you're totally unrecognizable. But when he raised us up, he put a garment on us. It was something like the garment in 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. So it was like something that you would throw around your hands. So it was like a kind of a khaki color with white stripes. And he gave us a staff. And, we was somewhere we was going. I can't remember where we was going. But, I woke up from the dream, and literally since that I've been trying to remember the entire dream, and I just can't. But when I said we were unrecognizable, this is the best thing I could find to explain it. So picture this was happening on this brother's back here, all over our bodies. But not, wounds that were healed. They were fresh wounds. All over our bodies from head to toe. And when he saw that, he was pleased because we endured it. All right, we endured. We didn't back down, and we took it, but it was rough. All right, and that is what we had to do to receive the kingdom from the king. All right, this Acts chapter 14 and verse 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of heaven. And as I said, it was just trials we were going through, but all the trials basically was us receiving cuts and bruises, because that is what he said. He said excessive cuts and bruises. Basically, when we went to get the kingdom, and basically he told us, all right, you want the kingdom, there is where you had to go through excessive cuts and bruises. And that is the hell that we had to endure in this truth. And believe me, just looking back at how, and I don't even think that picture that I just showed was graphic enough to explain, the sight that, that I was looking at. It's like it was seriously banged up, cuts, chops, bruises, just like trust me, we were looking completely unrecognizable. And I remember that in the king's realm, it was night, the full moon was out, and I was speaking in a language. I do not know what language it was, but yet I was understanding what I was saying. And I asked him, I say, how come it's night? Wasn't it now day? And he's saying, like, where he was first, it was day, but here is night now, because it different. Like the two time frames, or it different. All right. So it wasn't like we was on one side of the earth. It was like we was in a different realm, a different I don't even know, a different dimension. It was just different, But I remember speaking a language. I didn't know the language. Sure, positive was a different language, but I was understanding it. All right. And trust me, it's like when I think back on that view, and the the hell that we had to go through to enter into the kingdom. This basically, as the scripture says, such as Israel's portion. This is James chapter 5 and 10. It says, take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahweh Shai for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience, because we not only gonna suffer, we have to take it cheerfully. We have to, humble ourselves and take it, because that is the only how you're going to enter. Me and the brother, we took it. We took all the cuts, all the bruises, and at the end of the day, the king was pleased. It says, verse 11, it says, behold, we count them happy which endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, and we saw the hell that Job went through, and I've seen the end of the Lord. And guess what? Yahweh was whipped up. He was whipped up. Thorns on his head, pierced his hands, his feet, his side. Yahweh suffered. We went through it. It's not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake. And I'll go read that next. So he says, behold, we count them happy which endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord. He said that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. All right. So, we're gonna go through all that. We're gonna go through all that. So it don't make sense, beginning the cuts and bruises process to stop halfway with just cuts and bruises for your body to look like this, with all those scarring. At the end of the day, as I said, the king healed us and we became refreshed. So you want to go through the whole process so that at the end you will be refreshed and you will enter into the kingdom. You will receive the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. This Philippians chapter 1 and verse 29 is one of my favorite precepts. It says, for unto you it is given in the behalf of Mashiach, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake. To suffer for his sake. As the king said, it says excessive cuts and bruises. And as I said, we were covered from head to toe with cuts and bruises and big cuts, like cuts that were spread 2 inches apart. It was like big cuts, bruises all over the body. It was dread. It was dread. Yeah, Salaki about that. Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, it was dread. It was dread. Right? It was dread. By the end of the day, we received the kingdom. He gave us that garment, covered us with, I remember exactly, covered us with a garment and gave us a staff. And we were leaving to go to enter into the kingdom, and I woke up. All right? So as he said, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake. So we had to suffer for Yahweh Shai's sake. All right? The 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 4. It says, not chapter 2, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verses 4. It says, so that we ourselves glory in the churches of Yahweh for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that ye endure. So it's not just you just getting tribulation, you know. Yeah, as Apostle has said, you're gonna suffer, so learn how to suffer. So it's not that you just gain persecutions, but also to endure it, and endure it, silently, with a smile on your face. All right? It says, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of Yahweh, the king, because Yahweh Hashem Yeshua is the king. All right? Is a manifest token of the righteous judgment. All right? It says that we may be counted worthy of the kingdom of Yahweh. So you have to receive excessive cuts and bruises. You have to endure those excessive cuts and bruises to enter into the kingdom, for which ye also suffer. All right? So we suffering for this kingdom. It says what? It says, which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of Yahweh, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of Yahweh, for which ye also suffer. All right? So we have to suffer to enter into that rest. We have to labor, and the laboring don't just mean going out on the highways and byways. It means you're going to catch a lot of hell, and you have to endure them. You have to endure, you have to fight, you have to persevere, you slip, you have to get back up, get your balance, your stability, your focus, and continue. There's not about stopping. There's about enduring. There's about continuing and finishing. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me. You understand? Paul said it. He said what? I have finished my course. You have to finish it. You have to finish this course. You have to fight. So fight I, not as one that beateth the air. You don't want to, at the end of all this, you be a castaway, you be rejected. Nah, you want to fight. You want to fight. As I said, just picture this guy, this carrying on this guy, and it was all over, from head to toe, front and back, covered with scarring. Not even scar, fresh cuts, fresh bruises. It was like a mob was trying to kill you, stabbed you up, they chopped you up, they dragged you all over the US. We were totally unrecognizable, and the king was pleased because we endured it. We endured it, and the king was pleased. All right, so let the king Yahweh Hashem Yeshua be pleased with your sacrifice. The scriptures. Let me read that real quick. I think there's Romans. Is it Romans? Yes, Romans 12:1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. That is mercy. The excessive cuts and bruises is mercy. Because why? You could have been a two-third. You could have been a part of the wicked. You could have been a heathen. But the Lord saw it fit not only to make you be an Israelite, but also to be a partaker of the hope of his calling, of the hopeful elect. So that is mercy. That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. That is a reasonable service, because we went off. So now coming back, we have to seek him 10 times more. And if excessive cuts and bruises is what we had to endure to make it, then guess what? That is what we had to do. We have to gird up our loins and take those excessive cuts and bruises. Because that is the only how we're going to enter into that rest, as the scripture says, for which he also suffer for. The 2nd Ezra chapter 7. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 6, it says, there is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. All right? Full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both. Means there is no alternate route, there is no shortcut. You can only go through this path. There is only one path to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? It says, verse 8, it says, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If the city now were given to a man for an inheritance, because we went to the king to get the kingdom. And that is where he told us that we had to endure. All right? If he never shall pass the danger set before it, endure the cuts and bruises, excessive cuts and bruises, how shall he receive the inheritance? So he was pleased to give us because we endured it. We endured the sufferings for Yahweh Hashem Yahshai's sake. He says, I said also, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. So we have to endure them excessive cuts and bruises to enter into the kingdom. It's not going to be an easy road. Understand? It's not going to be an easy road. The scriptures talk about the position of difficulty in Matthew 7. The straight path. So we have to endure. All right? And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who do rule well. Salutation to the men of the Hopeful and Saints elect. There's a beloved brother Marcus out in Trinidad saying Shalom and stay strong. Shalom.